morning, dear ones. It is a pleasure. A cold one, too. Holy moly. We're freezing here. I think it's every bit 42 degrees this morning, I think it was. 42 degrees. Now, it is a minus 42 degrees like some of you guys are in. Holy moly. I'm telling you, that's why I left Indiana. Too friggin' cold. And then with no leaves, everything looks a little bare naked. And nothing looks living and thriving and beautiful that way. Now, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a great holiday and fun with that and had some relaxation going on. And I hope for those of you that are, in pain and things like that, that you're working your way out of this. It's something that we just are raised with this concept of treatment-based thinking, that there's got to be something for my problem. And I think that whole concept of disease and the treatment of diseases with even herbs or vitamins and minerals and crap like that, it's all the wrong way of thinking. Because things are cumulative. Things are in a process. Things develop. And so this has been a long development. When you come into a body here, remember, it's not like we get a fresh, organic, genetically free, everything's strong like a new engine from Detroit, and everything starts off good. It doesn't work that way in creation. Everything is mutative on top of each other, and it just continues to mutate in that way, or grow and express itself in that way, taking on differences and expanding that and growing that way. That's God. And so you can see what happens when you expand toward the negative or toward the dis-E side. So I think, the biggest trap that we fall into is, again, treatment-based thinking. There's got to be an herb, and there's got to be this for that. And this has been a long road down to Hellville for Homo sapiens, and it's you don't have to look any closer than this. You don't have to look any closer than that. While medical thinking and some science is out chasing rainbows, you guys are honking in on truth, on reality, and it's right in front of everybody's face. But we get into our likes and our dislikes, and we don't want to change because we get secure in those likes and dislikes. This is why you hear a lot of us talk about detachment and trying to live a life on the edge of the now, where you're living in that present moment, enjoying every second that comes your way in full awareness. Notice when you start thinking. Time can slip away with you. Pretty soon you come out of thinking processes and an hour has went by. Where were you? Where did you take your attention? During that hour. And that's the whole point. You take your attention wherever you want to take it. If you want to take it to God, take it to God. If you want to take it to health, take it to health. But you're in control of your attention. Unless you've allowed someone else to control that. And then you want to get that back. You want to get yourself back and realize that everything is initiated from your own awareness and through the facility of desire and thought. And that if you want to end that sort of creating faculties, you want to gain control of that creative faculties, then you have to work more in the present moment. You have to withdraw from the body of the mind and the body of emotions a little bit. You can still use them and play with them, but you will be separate from that. And therefore, you're not prone to the ups and downs, the pulling and the ripping that can happen sometimes emotionally and mentally too. So it's interesting, and getting healthy is simplistic, yet it's a process. It all is a process. Very, very few times do you have a nirvanic experience where suddenly all the answers of the universe come in. The only time you get close to that is when you're in the present moment. And that's where all the answers are. Hard to understand that because we're so tied up in thought processes that it's hard to understand something that's total, something that's complete, something that's all in the all. inclusive, something that's omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, things like that. Very, very difficult for the mind to understand something like that. So it's difficult for man, or the concept of the Homo sapien, or man, in context of who drives that body. For example, you're driving your body. And it's difficult for man to understand who the driver of the car is when he's totally involved in the drama or in the play of it or in the soap opera of it. So you can understand how simplistic it is to withdraw from that a little bit. You're not withdrawing from life, you're becoming more aware of life by refusing to participate 100% in that process of creation. You withdraw yourself, and you're able to have more awareness, more happiness. Things don't bother you as much because you get to see the source of things. You begin to watch and see how things interact and how things are interconnected. And it's hard to see things like that when you're busy in thinking processes and desiring things. That's what's got your attention. So if you want your ability to know deeper things about the universe and more who the creator is, you simply have to quit playing in the fields of dreams, in the fields of creation, and pull yourself back to the present moment. And that's beyond the physical, it's beyond the astral, it's beyond the mental, but it's all inclusive. Hard to understand something that's all and everything is within the body of God. Hard to understand those things like that. I want to do some question and answers because, again, you guys are sending me some great question and answers. I've got a lot of eye pictures here, so one of these days soon I'll go over some eyes here with you and try to help you with your eyes pictures. Here's one, and this is an updated pictures. I asked this lady to send me her pictures. She's Laura. This person's got pretty good genes here. Take a look at these eyes here. I don't know if you can see them. I don't have Drew to help me right now. But what you have is you have obviously blue eyes, but all that white, yellow, all that's lymphatic. So here's a case. Here's an individual that has very strong genes. So I use the reference of George Burns, because when I see someone like this is George Burns' genes, meaning that your ability to live to 100 pretty healthy is obvious, and way beyond that, if you want it. You remember, the things that kills us is acidosis, leading to cholesterol plaquing, calcifications, occlusions, strokes, heart attacks, kidney failures, auto-intoxications, toxemias. Those are the things that kills us. Now, you'd be surprised how many people die of pharmaceuticals over their problems. Remember, when you hear someone die on the news of pneumonia, and I've said this before, they die from the complications of it. They don't die from the complications of it, they die from the medical treatment of it. You have to understand detoxification, that is a natural process of the human body. Nature uses that. Nature has created that concept, not us, not naturopaths. Nature. Naturopath is simply meaning the science of nature. I've always said, if you want to know what a naturopath should be or is, these are individuals that understand the chemistry and physics as much as possible of nature. Unfortunately, the new naturopaths on the block, it seems like they study and thinking more in diseases and high proteins and crap like that. They've lost their naturopathic understanding. And you can't, because naturopathic is the study of nature through science. That's why most of us teach you guys science. Those are the old guys that look at science as much as we know before the world of theory kicks in of what's going on here. So this is why you don't get educated allopathically and you get educated naturopathically. Because we like to educate people on the two sides of chemistry and the simplicity of understanding each side and understanding the two major fluids of the human body, very simplistic, and understanding cells. We could never understand nano levels and the intricate workings of everything, because it's just, you can play in those fields, but even in an observed study, very difficult to get away from conditioned thinking and a conditioned mind to understand truth from its totality. So very difficult. And not necessary to waste one's time on that. Fun is a game, but you notice that science hasn't gotten man any healthier. Matter of fact, if anything, it's destroyed man. And that's the problem. That's the mind again. Not being able to stop when we've reached enough of a certain direction. We just keep going. We're talking about that in terms of cloning and cloning humans and all the things that are going on in labs. And let me tell you, all this stuff's already been done. What they're doing in labs is unbelievable. And I was watching, I think it was Jesse Ventura, and talking about how they were not cloning, but how they were putting a human with a primate. And they've already done that. And they showed one case where they fertilized a female human with a primate. And that after the baby was born, they ended up killing it because they were worried about what they just did. So I don't know. It's bizarre out there. I think that you have to separate yourself from creation to understand that God can get pretty bizarre. It can get real wild out there. And that the only security and the fulfillment that you have is yourself. You will never find it in someone else or something else. You're the only security blanket you need, because nothing can hurt you from consciousness or the soul, or however you wish to understand that level where there is not definition. You're free there. You're undefined, but you're free. Nothing can hurt you. There's no positive and negative. You're just pure consciousness, pure awareness. Hard to understand, and that's why working with spiritual exercises, quieting the mind, getting to the point where you don't desire anything, these are tools you can use, just like raw foods. These are tools you can use to get, just like herbs. You still have people think herbs are toxic. And I have to laugh at that. How stupid are these people that think that? I'm probably the most aggressive herbalist on this planet. Have been for 40-some years. And I have used gallons with nothing but great results. I mean, we have tough cases, no question. And you guys on YouTube, you're going to have some really tough cases. And you have to just do your very, very best. We had a lady pass just the other day, sweet thing. She'd been, I'd known her for a lot of years. She came to me back in 2010, 29, and it was a cancer case. And then she just kind of got, I don't know what happened to her. She stopped coming to us, and she started coming back here several months ago. But when she came back, then she was in serious, serious trouble. She had ascites, or her very distended abdomen and stuff like that, and it was tough to save her. And that's sad stuff, because I always feel that, they're even at the threat of death or transition, because we don't understand that when you're leaving your body, you're just moving on. You're just moving on up. You're moving. You're not dying. You're leaving a body and getting another body for most souls for a while. Or if you're very aware and you've developed yourself, you're going to leave the whole realm of creation at this particular level. And all the levels, actually. Depends where you, as the individual, are setting yourself. It's nice to know that you have an awareness that's beyond this little drama here, that you can have experiences that are just hard to describe. They're so incredible, so huge, so beyond the little selves, So it's worth it. Anyway, this eye, real quick, heavy lymph, stomach issues here a little bit. You see black around the pupil, definitely malabsorption ring. Left side much more lymphatic up than right, meaning left kidney isn't filtering as much. But this is a great individual, a great body to get well. There's just a lot of lymphatic problems. So this is a case, I can't remember the case right offhand, but this is a case where you have, you can have anything from fibromyalgia to cancers, because the lymph system is heavily involved, and particularly in the head area. So that's where you get the pressures, that's where you get all these problems, is when you have heavy lymph like that. And the lymph is stagnant in the bowel. You can see it. You can see this bowel ring here, and you can see that thickness. That causes malabsorption. But here's a good case for someone to get well and healthy. I want to stick that in her chart. Let me see here. Oh, here, that goes over there. Now, let me see here. This is from Gordana. Am I right there? Dr. Morris, before I happily bumped into your video, thanks. I thought I was eating quite well. Insofar as meat and fish once a week, bread and pasta not so much, but a little each day, vegetables and fruit 80-20%. Since the first moment I read your video, I immediately started a fruit diet, which was, believe it or not, on the 31st of December 2013. Wow! That's just the other day. On New Year's Eve, I was so excited and happy, since I do believe it shall find many answers. I already feel better. I'm joking. Really, because I don't have, no, many people feel better. Within the next day, you feel better. Because you're going to feel better. You're hydrating. You're bringing in an alkaline, energetic state to the human body that's used to being acidic and low energetics. So it's obvious. When you start eating raw foods, it's going to start perking you up. Now, it can perk you up for a little while. And this is good for you Facebook people. You're going to have people that, when they started, wow, they're doing good. Their energy's doing good. And then, wham, they don't feel so good now. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a month, and now they're going down the other way. No, they're not going down the other way. They got a taste. Now the body's getting serious. Now the body's waking up going, wow, what's this stuff coming into me? This is food. This is energy. This is something I can use. And then the body takes off going, now I can fix myself. Now I can clean myself out, and now I can repair myself. And that's what it does. So it is a neat thing to see. And sometimes that repair and that healing is not fun. You have healing crisis. It can be pain. It can be mucus coming out. It can be a stopped up sinuses. You know, I'm kind of in one now. It's cold. It's alkaline. This is all fresh squeezed orange juice and stuff, and I'm trying to get myself cleaned out because I did candy and cookies for Christmas. And candy and cookies, mucus forming. Better than the other crap, though, but still. By the way, I live in Siberia. No kidding. Belgrade, Siberia. Wow, 65 years old. I have sent your links to many. Oh, thanks, man. No answer so far, which reminds me of a saying. When the pupil is ready, the teacher always appears. They will get ready, I have no doubt. Absolutely, because this is the main highway to Wellville, and how you can get yourself free from this plane. You know, I just am sit here to cut the fat off of things and show simplicity in God and simplicity in wellness, because this planet had gotten too intellectual, and we needed to bring about simplicity and understanding, and that then sets the spiritual wagon moving faster. And then you begin to understand simplicity is the key. Complexity is how you lose yourself. Fun for some, for a while. I am not healthy. High blood pressure. Okay, so high blood pressure, you know, immediately the kidneys. And of course, anyone listening to these videos, fix your kidneys. No matter what you think about health or anything, always fix your kidneys. You're seeing that, and you guys on Facebook are seeing it more and more and more and more. And then Marcy, we had a big discussion earlier about that, and everywhere we look, you know, we see the adrenal kidney connection, and then we see the lymphatic connection to that. And so, fix your kidneys, get the filtration going. This is serious business. Get your adrenals up and producing more neurotransmitters, get your blood pressure down or up. Either way, we have serious problems either way. And I've always said high blood pressure is low blood pressure. Just a mask. Because that's kidney and adrenals as most part, except for the swinging. Remember, swinging blood pressure comes from the cerebellum here. When you have, you know, a lymph backed up, you're tight, you're swollen. You might not even know that you are. in the cerebellum, and that could make your blood pressure swing like this as activity and stiffness and tightness and diets wax and wane. You can see this up and down, and you can't treat that kind of blood pressure, and yet medical doctors don't think about that. But observation of your clients, not your client's blood work, is key. I had a medical doctor call me one time, and he was kind of yelling at me, and he said, why did you put my patient on thyroid? A thyroid supplement. And I said, who's your patient? So we got her name and looked her up, and I looked at her chart, and I read to him all the things that she was here for. Thyroid, parathyroid, right down the street. And he goes, I said to him, what does all those symptoms sound to you like? He goes, it sounds like thyroid, but her blood work shows perfect, so I don't see anything wrong with her thyroid. And I told him, I said, well, listen, why don't you start treating your patient, not your patient's blood work? And he slammed the phone down on me, hung up on me. Well, you know what, that's the problem. I'm not going to treat your blood work because that's where you get in trouble. I want to know what's going on. If you don't know the human body enough through symptomology to know what tissue and what factors going on, you need to rethink your schooling or something. And that's what I hope to teach you guys, is that what a symptom is, where it comes from, what gland, what organ. Not that you're going to do anything different, but it's going to put you above all the others in understanding what is specifically down. And it's very helpful in the sense that you can use a glandular or an herbal formula for that specific tissue to help that enhance itself while you're cleaning and rebuilding the whole body in that way. You can use specific herbal formulas or glandulars to go in and enhance, like I've said, to get these areas moving a little more, prodding it along. Oh yeah, this is, I remember. That sort of thing. And so you've got to be able to, and it's easy to look at people and understand where that's wrong. Oh, malabsorption. Oh, thyroid. Look at that. Oh, look at the moles all over them. Oh, sugar metabolism, adrenals. Ooh. I mean, you'll be able to look and see. Not that you go around analyzing people, but at least it's helpful to understand when someone walks into you or you're looking at someone what you're looking at. How thin is the hair? Are they balding? How's the skin? Does it look dry? Is it wrinkled? How's their fingernails? Oh, hi. Oh, fingernails, huh? You know, things like that. Put them a pat on the shoulder and feel their neck up here. Oh, you're tight up here. You know, things like that. And it's easy to understand the lymph system, tightness, stiffness, pain, swelling, acid. It's easy to understand these things. So you guys are doing really well. So, let me see what else. Eye pressure. Now here's something. Gordana, you got to get this eye pressure out of there, like a glaucomic pressure. This isn't a blood pressure. Now, he has high blood pressure. And you could assume that high blood pressure creates high eye pressure. Not always. Most high eye pressure is a glaucomic pressure, meaning it's a lymphatic pressure. And this is the worst kind of pressure because this is an acid pressure. And in time, acids can create MACD, wrinkled retinas, all the things that you see now in the world of acid and deterioration of tissue on the other side of it. So this is something real important for this guy. I can tell you, Gordana, I would get my bowels cleaned up. You know, start cleaning everything that this head sits on. Clean everything down here below. Get your kidneys filtering, get your adrenals up, get your bowels cleaned out, get mucus coming out your stools. Really start getting this. Get sinus drainage if you can. Go hug someone that's sick. Go bare naked in the cold. I don't care. Find some way. Go on total fast or something, but find some way to give yourself a healing crisis if you want. Pull that stuff out. Much pain in the much pain in the kidneys. Absolutely. That's where your problem is. Fix that. Like I say, you can't go wrong ever fixing your kidneys and getting your kidneys filtering. You can't go wrong on anybody you're helping. Matter of fact, that is one of the big secrets of Wellville is kidney and GI tract function elimination. Through that process of fixing that, you can go back and fix digestion, absorption, and what's the third one? Utilization, hormone steroids. How does the body utilize chemistry? So then you start fixing by fixing elimination, because the problem is bad elimination. It is so simplistic. But of course, throughout your body, because your lymph system's backed up, my friend, from kidneys. And then, of course, this is backing up acid waste from cells. And so these acid waste from cells hang around and go, hi, I'm here. Ouch, ouch. Hasn't visited a doctor in the last 20 years because I thought that if myself cannot help myself, medicaments certainly will not. And part of your thinking's right on there. But you want to fix this. And I'm glad you came to us and stuff, because you can fix this and you won't need to go that way anyway, because you fix yourself, just like you said. And that's the whole goal of these videos for you guys, is to help you fix yourselves, because no one else is helping you out there to fix yourselves. Matter of fact, you got people chasing rainbows and flowers and genetics miles away, and all kinds of stem cell crap and all kinds of stuff, when your body can sit there and simply rebuild this itself. And you can fix up your body like nobody's business. You can get as healthy as you want to get. You can take it down that road as far as you want to take it. And the beautiful thing about it is you start to awaken out of the creation. You start awaken out of your drama. You start getting more spiritually, because the more energy you bring in, the more good chemistry you bring in. It's not like this. It's like this. Oh. I understand. I see now. My mind isn't taking my attention in thought forms all over the place. I'm open to the allness of things, and the information is flood. I see now. Although I do take medicines for my high blood pressure, which was prescribed to me years ago. That's the thing. You've been too long, my friend, on blood pressure medications. You got to head on down the road of kidneys. Get on your fruits, your berries, and your melons. Maybe a salad a day. I would get on my kidney herbs. I'd get on something for the adrenals. I'd start cleaning out my bowels. Get on the lymphatic herbs and start cleaning my system out like that. Your blood pressure will go down. Your eye pressure will go down, and you want the eye pressure to go down. Because this whole thing up here then leads to dementia, Alzheimer's, and all those sort of things. You want to go that way. And you need to get off the blood pressure medication. And it'll be easy to do that. Once you get this pressure coming out, you get the kidneys filtering, your blood pressure should come down pretty fast. So watch that. So you're not taking a blood pressure medication when your blood pressure is normal or close to normal, because it'll move you into hypotension. And that's not good either. Always hoped that I would somehow fix my health with yoga and diet, but as you see, I have never succeeded. But you will now, because now you've got the answers, my friend. You will do now. And so you go forth and conquer. You got all the tools. I've never seen anybody not be able to bring their bodies back if they want it. So you're going to do well, man. You've got your tools. You need help, call in here, or go to the Friends of Dr. Morris Facebook site where they can help you there. Hi, Dr. Morris. I live in the UK and have only just stumbled across your videos. And wow, oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. This is Katie. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, honey. I was hoping you would give me some advice, as over a year ago I started having a strange sensation in my lower front left leg, like it had a sticker going down on the front of it. I never thought too much of it. Then I started with pins and needles in my left arm. Ew. And started to get red spots all over my toes. Ew. Since then, I started the following symptoms: muscle twitches and flutters, facial spasms, eye twitches, aches and pains, ear problems, sensitive to loud noises, anxiety, depression, indigestion, clicky bones, mainly wrists, sore breasts, spots on face and chest, cysts on left ovary. 3 years ago, I had my right ovary removed due to another cyst. Oh, honey. Lymph glands in both legs often feel tight and hurt. Now, this is a good one. I had MRI, Lyme muscle conjunction test, and Candida test, which all came back clear. Well, then it's all in your head, honey. That wouldn't be good, would it? Someone said that to you, it's all in your head, but feel like I'm going mad and I'm sick of people just thinking I just got a bit of depression. Oh, I understand, Katie. Let me tell you, do I ever understand. So, I don't like half these symptoms, okay? So here's the thing. I would take off on, again, raw food diet, no question. High fruit, berries, and melons. I know you're in the UK, and I know what that's like, so do your very best, okay? If you have to stay a little warm over there, and I know some things are difficult to find, but, you know, do something warm. Carrot soup, veggie, steamed veggies, something like that. You know, to keep yourself warm through the winter. But, man, you want to hit this hard. Through the day, you want to be all fruits, berries, and melons. You can have 100 meals a day. Who cares? Small meals more often? Okay, perfect. But you want to get up there because you really need to work on your nervous system. Well, working on the nervous system is understanding what's affecting the nervous system. And, of course, that's what? Acids, of course. So, first of all, kidney and adrenals, always. First of all, right up the chute. First of all, kidneys and adrenals. You want to get them worked on. Get in the GI tract. I personally would be on upper circuit, brain, and nerve immediately because this is serious. And I'd also probably add the antispasmodic with that for about a month to suppress some of these twitches and things in case you might have a seizure or something. You want to stop that. The nervous system is a weird system. Not only is it the communication highway, but it can transmute weird sensations. But you know that all the body is a bunch of cells and two fluids. We have a microbial kingdom that enjoys and relishes the human because the human is so toxic and faulty sugar metabolisms. And in other words, we have putrefaction and fermentation all through us. So the call of the wild. So you got to clean the body out. Just like you have to clean your car out, your house out, or anything else out. And particularly when you've been burning the wrong fuels. Burning the wrong fuels ruins the engine pretty quick, and that's what's happening. We're burning the wrong fuels, and we're burning up the engines bad, not doing well. So, very important. The muscle twitching and flutter, I don't like any of this. Upper circ and brain and nerve. I'd use the antispasmodic. I would then tear off the kidneys. So I'd do two kidneys, two lymphatics. You know, the road that we talk about, how you go down with that. You're in a situation here that you might want us to help you a little bit. Now, anxiety, adrenal glands, depression, parathyroid. You got a lot going on up here. And you want to add, look at your menses. See if your menses, your monthly cycles are on time, excessive bleeding, things like that. Because you want, with all this going on, you have to suspect pituitary. You didn't mention that you don't sleep. That'd be pineal, you know, insomnia type stuff. But your endocrine glands are down. But that's to be expected in people to have the adrenals down. Now, many people have the thyroid, parathyroid down, or they have the pituitary down, they have other glands down. But this is definitely parathyroid down. And that can also be effectual, obviously, to calcium utilization, can also be effectual to nerve impulses, and what you're going into spasticity. You got to be careful about convulsions and seizures and stuff like this. So you want to get to this. And I would do a parathyroid glandular with kelp as a supplement to enhance that parathyroid and get calcium utilization. At the same time, you've got a heavy iodine impaction coming and a high calcium, bioavailable iodine, bioavailable calcium, to where now you can rebuild and pull yourself out of the depression. Getting the adrenals up is going to help with the anxieties. Also to get the filtration and start moving the acids out that is sucking more calcium out of you, blah, 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 blah. Indigestion and all that, again, small meals more often. Look at the liver. I generally do a month and a half of a liver gallbladder formula, knowing that the herbs will reach over from the liver gallbladder to the pancreas. And you might want to look at that, get a picture of your eyes and take a look at your eyes and see what's going on there. Clicky bones, well, I mean, that's just showing you you're losing calcium and not putting it back. And that'll lead to scoliosis. That'll lead to severe deformity of joints and everything else. You don't want to go there. Sore breast just shows you're acidic. It's all backed up in the acids. When menses comes, it's more acid. Therefore, you get sore breast. I don't like that at all. That leads to fibrocystic breasts. No. So, again, this is all lymphatic in origin when you're talking about sore breasts. Even though it waxes and wanes sometimes with estrogen, it's still showing you have inflammation there. Because you should be able to have an estrogen hit and not feel any sore breasts or anything from it. So this is something you want to fix. Spots on face and chest. Well, you could be affecting your pituitary, seeing some pigmentation changes. These red dots and things, they grow on people all the time. Cysts. Now, you've already lost one ovary, which is too damn bad, but get your kidneys filtering so you can get that left ovary filtering, because that's all it is. This is your kidneys not filtering, and it's backing up all the way up here. Not good. And that first ovarian cyst here, the right one, should have been the clue to everybody that you are having kidney filtration problems. So you want to fix that. And, of course, your lymph nodes and your groin and everything, you are going to fill them. And that's just showing you, again, you're not filtering. When your lymph nodes swell, you're not filtering. Something's backed up down below. When something swells up above something, means something down below that is responsible for moving that which is above is blocked. Then you're going to see up above swell. And this is true with lymph nodes. When lymph nodes swell, you immediately think, kidneys, am I filtering? Because that's what's up, and that's key. It's a serious case, honey. Get yourself focused and get yourself going on this. That's why I wanted to cover this one first thing this morning, because you want to get and deal with that. No, this is Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. I love the word Tiffany. I am in some need of help. Over the last 2 years, I have been battling this poison in my body, Mercury. Oh, yeah. Fresh squeezed navel, what is it? God. I had mild symptoms at first, but since amalgam removal, the mercury has escaped from my organs, causing me excruciating despair and also neurological damage. Crap. I am almost to the point where it takes too much energy to even talk. Holy crap. I have total body damage, cellularly, brown organ cells, etc. Also have Lyme bacterium and a million other viruses. I have 2 bad gene mutations too, which causes my body to hold these metals. Also had my gallbladder removed at 4 years old. You had your gallbladder removed at 4 years old? Honey, so I've been sick for a while. No kidding. I'm not sure what to do, Doc. Where to start, etc. I'm fighting to keep myself alive every day. Any suggestions would be great. I feel like I'm too far gone to get better. Smack yourself on your hand. You're not too far gone to get better. No one is. You might feel it. Okay, so now slow down. You want to move yourself. I don't care how aggressive it is. You want to move yourself to the raw food program. If it creates too fast of a detox, slow up. And slow up with steamed vegetables, but I would move to 100% raw. Then I would get rid of the vegetable matter, but maintain a green drink at least twice or 3 times a day. And the green drink, you want to have lots of parsley. If you like cilantro, you can throw that in there. Dandelion greens, hard to find this time of year, but that's what you would want to look for. Alfalfa would be excellent. Anything like that, if you can handle a little kelp in the green drink, and this is fresh picked kelp for me from Norway. As my Norwegian friend, Hildy, was just here. Isn't that cool? She is amazing. She has pulled herself out of a wheelchair. Her hands are straightening up. She's had a lot of work. A lot of you know her already. So she's done a lot of work on herself. She's amazing. You keep hanging in there, and you'll win this game. You know, you just got to hang in there and pull yourself through. Don't let anybody pull for you. You pull yourself through. You'll wait on someone else or allow someone else to pull you through. It'll never happen. You got to grab your own self and pull your own self through these states here. And the same is with you, Tiffany. You want to go on you want to move yourself toward a high fruit diet, and I highly recommend the grapes because it has a lot of buffering for you with the mercury. Again, kidney filtration, key to getting rid of mercury. Can't get mercury through the blood. It's key to get the kidneys filtering. So that's your next task. Get you a adrenal set up. I'd get myself on a protocol and get myself down the road here. You want to get your kidneys filtering. You want to get your endocrine glands up. At the same time, you want to pull yourself clean. Brain and nerve, too, is a no-brainer here. So you want to get up on something that feeds the nervous system, something that strengthens the nervous system. I would probably also, in this race, I would do upper circ and brain and nerve. That upper circ and lower circulation. Those two formulas will start moving blood more aggressively in the body by opening up the kidney filtration, and you're getting lymph filtering there. Everybody's moving more aggressively outside, not just keeping it in the body, but moving everything to the outside. If you can have a good cold and flu-like scenario where you're hucking up mucus from the lungs and bronchi and nose and sinuses, that's going to pull a lot of mercury out of those tissues anyway. I'd wash my mouth with Heal All Tea. And I would pull any mercury you have in your tissues out and spit out this tea. Put it in your mouth and hold it in your mouth. It's strong. It's a little astringent. Not strong, but it's a little astringent there with the plantain and stuff, and that pulls. There's also neutralizers and everything else. You can do the heavy metal formula that we have if it wants, very helpful, but again, cilantro, parsley, dandelion greens, all those things are in it, something you can take yourself. So those sort of things is what I would do, and get my body detoxifying. If you're real sensitive and you're too heavy metaled up, go slow. That's why the green drink's a little more of a buffer. Fruits are way aggressive at moving lymph, but if you're in trouble, you get up there. Support your adrenals with a glandular. That'll help support that, get your kidneys filtering, and you'll start turning on everything. And the nervous system particularly, because mercury's a neurotoxin. And that's a problem. This is why you see all these kids going to ADD and all the little symptoms they want to put from mercury, from thimerosal. You know, and so you see this constantly. And there is over 2,000 neurotoxins in our world from chemists, being real nice. So these are the things that I would do for sure. You know, head off and get my body cleaned out. Because the only way you're going to survive this is detoxification. Because whatever you think of bacterium, they're there because of your culturing medium. They're not there because they don't like you. They're there because you're a host. You offer up food sources for them. But that's nature. Nature supplies the bacteria and you and everything else. But it has to have checks and balances of how it deals with toxemia within the bodies of animals and humans. And everything else, I might add. So you have a whole working of nature that deals with bacteriums and viruses and protozoas and funguses. Understand their reason for living, not that you're in a war with them. Medical doctors are in a war with them. And it's a war they can't win. Notice that? Notice lately now, we need to back up giving animals antibiotics because now humans are getting all that in their foods and now they're bacterial or antibiotic resistant. They're chasing rainbows, chasing butterflies. I mean, Jesus criminy. So terrain. Get your terrain cleaned out. That's your lymph system. That's your inner sewage. Things like this. Get this body cleaned out. The heavy metals will come out with that. Do the green drinks. That'll help buffer with that. And I would get on an herbal program with the lymphatics and everything else. Get your kidneys filtering. Get everything done. Get on the diet. And you'll pull yourself out, sweetheart. You will. And you got plenty of help on Facebook. And you'll walk yourself down that road. If you have to go fast, slow. If you want to slow up, do steamed vegetables. If you want to go fast, do more fruit. Oh, yeah. This is Pegasus. And I was trying to think, I was saying Pythagoras the other day because Pegasus, I told you the story of Pegasus. A friend of mine, young lad and kid, lived to ride Pegasus. But that's what your horse reminded me of, sweetheart, was Pegasus or a unicorn. I still, as I go over this grass, I thought about this a lot, about George and this beautiful white, magnificent animal that passed from grass fever. No. I mean, we look at bacteria, but the same thing exists. And I was talking about, because you asked me what to do with horses, and bulk herbs. You know, make the teas, get the teas down them, because it might not hurt to detox your other horses. you know, and really clean these horses out, because you made some statements about there was some discharges from the eye on this horse and other things, and this showed that this horse was entering kidney failure and lymphatic problems. And so this is the sort of thing that when you see lymphatic drainage out of eyes and things, you know there's a blockage. So you want to go right into the kidneys and right into that and work on that, because, you know, again, just breathing the air is hell here. So that got my heart pretty bad, because I'm a horse lover, and anybody that has a friend as a horse knows, you know. It's like even the dogs, you know, on the news where that guy took him and his wife's having a severe battle, divorce battle, and I guess she got the house, so he took their dog out in an alley and ran over him with the car. I mean, I saw that on the news and I about threw up. I don't know, man. This is such a low area to be in. It's just vomitous sometimes where the consciousness can go, you know. And I'm sure that guy, when he wakes up, not going to be real happy with himself. I mean, that's just sad stuff right there. But I felt real bad about this horse. But I'll tell you, the bulk herbs, I think everything on this planet needs to be detoxified, to be honest with you. We've been living in toxicity and toxemia for so long that we need to have a little bit of a detox. Nectar. Hello again, Dr. Morse. I have a friend that donated a right kidney to an older sister. You know, and again, there's no thought or understanding that it's out of the same genetic tree. God, same genetic tree. Here's another weak kidney out of the same genetic tree. You would only want to do something like that, one, if there was death coming and you couldn't regenerate the kidney, and two, that you check the iris of both of them to understand that maybe she had a little different kidney from maybe the father or mother pulling her away from that. As much as I don't like the idea of donating, it happens, and it does, I know. And I just want to know, what do you think is a good diet and lifestyle for someone that is now working with one kidney and adrenal? This person loves to lift weights and exercise. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a big difference in energy level. Yeah, you're probably right, Scott. Well, Scott, I'll say this. The things, and I was just talking to another client of mine who was a cancer case. She got her cancer all cleaned out. But we were just talking about proteins. And I gave you guys a demonstration. I talked to you about a case of a medical doctor that came to me with a severe kidney pain and came to our school, and how I showed him what proteins will do. You know, this is the whole thing. Protein is the roughest form of chemistry on the human body. Despite what everybody thinks, despite the fact that it's so implanted in the consciousness. But nature passed from the early 1800s tried to warn people about proteins. So now we're in the glutens, which is a protein. We're into the protein effect on the mucosa. And the mucus, the excessive mucus that people have in them from this. But this has existed through the dawn of time. People drink animal milks and animal flesh and everything else for a long time. And all these proteins, particularly the dairy proteins and the grain proteins, mucus forming big time. And so then a person has a lot of mucoid plaque in the bowels, a lot of mucus buildup in the body, mucus in the bowel walls, and creates malabsorption. They have all these problems. And yet on the other side, we have society promoting the use of these foods. I find how interesting how you guys represent the positive side, if you're going to look at it in this way, and society, the negative side. And so if you're not careful in society, it's all inclusive. It sucks you in and swallows you up. It's like what Obama wants to do with Americans. Make everybody at the same level. That's never worked, can't do it, and I don't know where his thinking is. Life doesn't work that way. It's not that way. God hasn't made it that way. Everything's on an individual journey. Everything is responsible for that individual journey. And everybody's going to have individual journeys, different levels of wealth, different levels of everything. Get used to it. The other doesn't work. Much more of a negative. You know, you got to be careful with the social consciousness and making it too social, because then it'll start killing those which it's a threat to it. I mean, it's nasty, but it's repetitive history. That's why it's amazing that someone who thinks they're so smart doesn't see that. But I'll say this. Get away from all protein sources. Get your amino acids from your fruits, your berries, your melons, and your vegetables. So a diet of fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables would be the only diet worth thinking about. And a higher level of fruits, berries, and melons and vegetables, I would say. And treat that kidney nice. Now, the problem is you have a whole body that likes to drain its acid waste into kidneys. And you've got a left kidney that drains the left side of the body and a right kidney that drains the right side. So in a way of working this, it all has to work through one kidney. Sad stuff. But I think as time goes on, people take care of these kidneys and stuff. I believe that these people will be fine. But we have a lot of kidney transplants that come in here. And even though you see the world of kidney transplants maybe as fine, not really. After a number of years, you go back and interview these people, and a lot of them are suffering majorly from their transplants. And I have one in particular the other day where she gave her brother a kidney, and they're both suffering now. Bad stuff. So you guys are so important to our society in the understanding of rebuilding and regeneration. I can't even begin to tell you. We must start taking the stance of rebuilding tissue the right way. It will rebuild itself, given the right tools, the right chemistry, the right chemical medium. Your body loves to rebuild. Nature can't stop. If you're a gardener, one of the big issues we have is weeds or other little species coming up and going, oh, I want to grow. You can't stop nature. It's just ever expanding and growing. You can't stop God. You can't stop these things. But you can learn how to live within and get street smart within creation if you're going to spend any more time down here. Figuratively speaking, and you have to learn the rules of the road, so to speak. How you survive in these soap operas, this creative movement of activity. How do you survive in that and keep yourself protected and happy and full, and at the same time use your bodies to bring you what you want? Treat your bodies like they're your robots. You're going to, send them on their missions and keep them healthy and clean. So that's what I would do. I'd really take care of my kids. And I would stay away from all the dairy products, all the grains, all the meats, all the things that destroy kidneys and bowels. Good question, though. Definitely, Scott. Monique, let's see. German. Let me see. As I said in my last question, I have spent a year now mostly alone in the Australian bush. Wow. That's pretty cool. That's intense. I like that. That's an intense endeavor. When you're alone in the bush or you're alone anywhere by yourself, it's an intense experience. It's more difficult getting around people when you do that. I did that to a certain degree, not way out in the bush, but I was in the national and state parks, and so definitely in the woods and away from as many people as I could get. But you always had campers and people around, but I always stayed to myself. And I did a lot of reading and a lot of walking, but also did a lot of expansion and a lot of trying to work out of body and stuff like that. And physically have been diagnosed with Lyme disease, but also arsenic and mercury toxicity, toxoplasmosis, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, same thing as with the other girl here, is you want to clean yourself out and get your lymph system moving. But the biggest thing is get the kidneys back functioning and filtering, the adrenals up, getting this lymph system, getting the bowels cleaned out and everything, so good absorption, the liver cleans, the pancreas cleans, good digestion, good absorption, getting the endocrine glands up, then you get good utilization of chemistry, and then, of course, it's all about elimination as well. So the proper elimination of digestive foods, but also the proper elimination of cellular waste. these two are key essential to wellness. So that's a road I would go down. I don't know what your diet was in the bush. You're right. Begin alone in nature is where you find all the answers. And I know where you're at. Every day I go to a creek and sit, write, cry, or clean up the creek and remove the rocks and stop the water flow. Hey, man, I know where you're at. You know, that's the love, though. But that's how you touch. That's how you begin to touch. And this is why I mentioned to you guys, spend some time alone. Even if it's in your bedroom, in a closet, in a beautiful garden somewhere. If you got a gardens around, like bush gardens or somewhere where you can go and just spend the day with yourself. Look at the beauty, hug a tree, you know, connect to nature, but also keep your individuality and your awareness. Don't think, just take it in. Let nature hug you. You know, that's just what he's doing. He let nature hug him, but he also helped nature to flow better and everything. A beautiful soul here, guys. I think I'm currently experiencing a complete paradigm shift. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's suddenly as if I am seeing the world in a completely new light, and what's mostly evident is that I can no longer separate emotion, mind, and body. Interesting, huh? Well, because it is separate. But as you pull to the eternal now, everything becomes the one, and that's what you're going through. Everything becomes one. Everything merges. And it's hard to explain to somebody what that is, because everything, you begin to merge with the allness of the all. The light comes on. Your auric expands. You start understanding the answers of life start come flooding in, because now you're connected to that which is alone. And God is alone. There's only one God. And it in and of itself is alone. But it is all that it is. It's really, you've got to really get out there and spend some time in the now to allow those answers to those things we're talking about to come in, so you can see them and experience that insane aloneness. Not loneliness, aloneness that exists when you're by yourself and all things are within that moment. If you're sitting by a creek and in that moment, the intensity of the water, the trees, the soft, gentle air, all of that intensity, you know, really turns you on that path of awakening. And that's just what's happening to this guy. He's awakening. Amazing. The soul seems to be in a different category, all-encompassing. Could you talk about paradigm shifts, please? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about them. All I can say is that your feet are on the path, my friend, and that's an awakening process. There's no learning, there's no knowledge to be gained, because all knowledge already exists. You're trying to learn what exists; it already exists. There's no knowledge outside of what already exists. There's no knowledge where nothing exists. So, when you're in that allness of things, you're in that alone state, you start to realize within that alone state is the heartbeat and awareness of God, and you are becoming more of that. And there's no definition to that. It's hard to understand paradigm shifts because you're becoming part of the allness of things, which is a natural process of awakening. All the saints and saviors, if I can use those words, at least as many as I've read, talks about that. And when you start to awaken, you start to see that silver or golden thread of the verbiage of Buddha and Christ and Enoch and all these people like that. All of them have something to contribute, from the Eckmasters to, you know, the Sing group to you name it. There's always something for you there, something you can take, and it helps to unlock that which you've held on to that is holding you back, that which is obstructing you. Like this guy moved the rocks so the water could flow better. That's exactly what you're doing. You're removing the rocks that block the flow of love, the flow of awareness, the flow of consciousness. You're removing those rocks. And you're helping all life to remove their rocks. So the flow can come, and we can all hug and become part of the allness again. There will always be those that love creation and go down that road and play. That's essential for that to happen. But you can't get hooked up in it. You can just give love, like Johnny Appleseed. Here's a tidbit of information. Here's a channel, YouTube videos. Read them and see if it'll help you. Here's a Facebook site. Go. There's plenty of people there willing to help you. That's all you can do. That individual awareness of the same allness has to wake itself. And when it does, you'll be able to give them a hug and go, like circle of iron. The cheetah waking up to becoming the master. Any way you wish to look at that. If you've not seen the Circle of Iron, that's Bruce Lee's movie. And Bruce Lee, it was more spiritual than people realize. And looking at that movie, you'll understand the different levels of God a little bit. And those of you that went to school and I laid these levels out for you, you can see how even in that movie talks about these different levels. So, it's pretty cool. He was pretty aware. So he had to be a little bit of an out-of-body traveler to understand these different levels. And David Carradine is one of the stars. He plays the master in that movie, written by Bruce Lee. Pretty good. Circle of Iron. Love it. But that's I don't know how to tell you anything other than that, because you step right into where you needed to be. You step right in. People think spending a year out in the bush, wow. But I tell you, spending time alone and learning how to kind of shut down that mind and taking advantage of it, not just spending time alone, living life, killing alligators, no. Taking full advantage of that alone time to relax, to allow thoughts to move away. And that's another reason why we do these things, to get away from, oh, look over here, oh, look over here, oh, look at this thing, oh, look at... No, when you're alone out with nature, it's so intense because all of it is in the now. Trees, consciousness, plant. I've been in plant consciousness. I can tell you all kinds of stories about going back, visiting different levels of consciousness. Not something that's real. I mean, it can be shattering. I remember one time I wanted to go back and I wanted to feel what it was like to be a plant again. So I went into this state, and I thought I was being pulled right into this plant outside of my house. And I started losing the ability to breathe. It was so claustrophobic, but it was so in the now. And I realized that self-awareness, and masters have talked about that quite a bit, about the different levels of consciousness, but then having self-awareness. So it was interesting, but it was enough to say that there's an intensity of consciousness outside of thought that is part of the all. That is the power of everything. And you're part of that. And that's just what this lad experienced and is experiencing. And from there, all the doors are opening. All the things are opening. The love is coming out in him. He loved that rock, scooted it over, and allowed the love is coming. The beauty, the joy. This is a soul that's awakening. Now, and this is on another subject other than that, but my friend, pleasure to address this with you. On another note, at one time, there was an Eckmaster called Darwin Gross. And he was my master for a while when I was in that Chila Master Syndrome. And I look at Paul Twitchell as the map maker, and Darwin Gross is saying, okay, here's the map, but who's the traveler? So he took what was brought out at that time to open up the consciousness, to supply the maps, to help souls understand there's a lot of different levels, even though Jesus had talked about the different rooms of my Father's mansion, the different levels of heaven, all these things have been talked about. So I consider the Eckmasters and Twitchell a superior map maker of the worlds of God in this level at the creation. And then Darwin brought forth, the now, and bringing in the now, the individual within that context to understand the differences and stuff. And so when the Hopi, he was out in Sedona one day, and the Hopi elders saw him. The tribal chief saw him and said, "You're the one," and gave Eckankar at that time like 50 acres of Sedona, prime Sedona property to put a healing center and a spiritual center on, which we started. The energy, I had health food stores at the time, and it was hard for me to get out there because I'm a carpenter, and I also, I built houses most of my life, so I can do everything but AC and heat. I can put in the ducts, but I can't hook up systems like that. But I can plumb a house, I can electric a house, I can do all that. So I was going to donate my time. Everybody was donating time and going out and working on these because the power of Sedona with all the ley lines, is obvious. And there were spiritual beings walking all over the grounds, out of body. I mean, it was the stories were unreal, but it was also a high sexual time too, because when that energy goes through, it turns on all the chakras. And so this is in today's time, you have to be careful about that. Having so much spiritual energy and growing, that some people are polarized to others a lot, and that's perfect, because it's such an incredible experience to meet another awakened soul, and to merge, and to spend some time with that, to where you're seeing yourself in this beautiful soul, and there's no description of those kind of experiences, and making love and things during those experiences are way out there, energetically and consciously. It's incredible experiences one can have. But you also want to be careful, because some people use these things. I remember one time, because I've always kind of been in Eckankar, I was always ahead of an area, And I had the office call me one time and say there was a lot of females calling in complaining about a massage therapist who was using that to, get the women, so to speak. And so sometimes you see that out there, where someone is using their awareness and using things to go after the women. So just be careful with that, because, that can happen everywhere. And a spiritual woman for a male is a find of the century. And it's also the opposite is true. It's actually harder for women to find a spiritual mate than it is for a man to find a spiritual woman, because the woman is already connected there. She is that love of God. And so there's so much more spiritual women out there than there are men. Well, men are the acid side. So when you find the spiritual male, he's got a lot of female in him. As a rule, hard to have a male as a spiritually awakened individual. Generally, it takes the touch of that emotional side and that love side and that feminine side, the balance of the two sides. Because as you notice, as you awaken, you'll find that you have male and female sides to yourself. You can play on the male side when you want, and you can play on the female side. That's when you'll realize that as soul, you're neither one. The bodies become gendered, but even you can have a female body and feel male all the time. You've seen this before. And in men, you can feel feminine all the time. Some men have changes because they feel, and we've talked about that before, how a quick death can throw you into these sort of things like that. So you always want to grow, but be careful out there. Because in the need of wanting to find a spiritual person, you don't want someone that's taking advantage of people too. So be careful out there, and everybody love each other the right way, and enjoy the beauty of interactions and coming together, but also watch yourselves, because that energy is incredible. And it's just a beautiful thing to come up against another that has sharing that energy and sharing that space. As a matter of fact, you don't get better relationships than that. But be careful, because there are some people that use that. You know what I mean? So if you're one that's doing that, please back up a little bit. Find yourself a good woman, or someone you really are polarized to, but don't try to get a bunch. That's not what we don't want to do. All right. Now this is from Leo. Hey, Leo. Hi, Robert. First, let me thank you for all your... Oh, thanks, Leo. Appreciate that, man. About 2.5 years ago, I did a black walnut hull cleanse. Oh, really? And had a severe skin reaction. Oh, wow. And on the rear of my left ear and part of my neck. I stopped immediately after 3 weeks of the program. Huh, what kind of program was that? A black walnut hull program? Whew. You know, black walnut hull is pretty intense. I mean, that's a strong, I mean, you want to call it an herb. And I'm telling you, I'm a little careful with walnut hulls. About 2.5 years ago, oh, here we go. I started juicing thinking it would be a more slow way to detoxifying my body, and now I have the same skin breakout on my groin area, ankles and legs. They come for about 2 weeks and then go. Then they show up somewhere else in my lower body. Well, what is that? What's the skin? Right? It's your largest kidney. It's your largest eliminative organ. So whenever you start to detox, your skin is going, oh, look. In other words, your body's using your skin to push this stuff out. Why isn't it using your kidneys? So that's where I would go. I definitely go to my kidneys. I go to my adrenal glands. I clean up my bowels and really start moving my lymph. Because subcutaneously under your skin, it sounds like you're really backed up. Meaning your lymph nodes aren't filtering properly, your kidneys are not filtering properly, and now your skin is doing it. So you got to get away from that. And all these things that's showing you that as soon as you start to detox, your skin goes, okay, this is the doorway. But you want to move that out and do the skin. I would do some hot and cold showers, maybe get myself really sweating up and really start promoting this elimination subcutaneously. At the same time, I'm right into the kidneys, I'm right into the adrenals. I want to get my kidneys filtering and pull these away, get the lymph nodes drained and pull these things, because it's just showing you all over what's going on here. I never had any medical issues that I know of. I am a male, 38 years of age, a father of 3, and feel good besides the skin issue. Perfect. Well, get your kidneys filtering, and then you won't have any problems all your whole life. You enjoy your kids and everything else. I have stopped eating dairy, breads, and meats. Now you got to go back and fix what those foods did to your body. Just stopping them isn't enough. You got to go back and fix what all those foods did to your body. Before juicing, I was feeling sluggish, headaches, backaches. Lower back. Again, kidneys, L4, L5, remember that. No exercise, by the way, and not in optimal health. I feel better now. My only concern is my skin condition on my lower body. Is it temporary? Is it a detox? Do I have to do something different or take any supplements? I would go after my body aggressively. I'd go after my lymph system. Get a picture of your eyes and look at it. You know, that's the beauty of iris and the iris analysis and iridology. I don't care what anybody thinks. It's such a beautiful science, simple to understand. We got a whole shitload of other eyes here. So I am going to go over a bunch of your eyes. Now, there's one guy demanding that I do his eyes now. I'll get to him, man. I was a little aggressive. Everybody around here didn't take that real well. We're doing everything we can, as fast as we can. But we have a lot of people that's asked for help here, and I'm doing my best. Do I have to do something different? Yeah. I'm also taking concern trace drops in my water. Well, I mean, if it keeps it alkaline water, okay. But, you know, the hydration and the electrolytes, that's all fruits, berries, melons, salads, stuff like that. You know, with electrical twist, because they're together synergistically by nature, they're electrified, and they're in the right ratios. So that's really the best way to think about that. Detox that body, get in there, get that kidneys filtering, the lymph moving, get your skin sweating, and it'll clean all that out. You might have a few expressions. Ew, this isn't cute. ooey gooey was a worm. It's amazing the kind of stuff that comes out of people, ain't it? I'm telling you, this, at least it ain't black, but I'm telling you, there's all kinds of nasty stuff that come out of people. But then you start to realize, aha, that's an aha moment. Aha, that was obstructing where? Where was this big glob? And it must have been obstructing something. Was it in the liver? Was it in the bowel wall? If it was in the liver, could it obstruct chemical manufacturing? Absolutely. If this was in the bowel wall, could it obstruct absorption? Absolutely. If it was in the heart, I mean, you see what I'm saying? This kind of globby stuff comes interstitially or impacted on the wall or found in tissues. I mean, this is the gnarly stuff we're full of. And this is the stuff that the meats and the dairies and all these foods promote in the human body. And when you start seeing this stuff coming out of people, then you think, detox, golden key, excellent, mucus, the core, Arnold, he had something going there. You know, everything starts to make sense. You know, and you can fix yourself. Matter of fact, let me read this. This is Gwen. Hi, Gwen. I'd like to update you on some progress made in regard to moving the sulfur out of my GI tract. Whoa! For the last 11 months, I'd been on the Fab 4 and other formulas, your protocol for a few months, and trying hard to follow dietary recommendations. I recently moved up to using the GI Broom. Yeah, because I have experienced so much difficulty with bloating and pain. Absolutely. I used only half the recommended amount of GI Broom on the first night and added it to freshly blended grapes. Smart thinking. I increased the amount to 3/4 of a tablespoon, then to 1 full tablespoon. I'm using it regularly at night before I go to sleep. At first I thought I noticed an odd orange color in the stool. Then on the third night I noticed very bright colored orange streaks in the stool. Yeah, baby, love the GI Broom. I got brave and fished it out. It feels very strange to say this, but I'm so proud of what I found. It's bright orange and very sticky. See what I'm saying? And this is where you get malabsorption. This is what turns the eyes orange and brown. This kind of stuff you can actually see and touch and yuck. That's cool stuff, Gwen. That's what I love about you guys. And that shows your spirituality. Someone that thinks on their own. Look, maybe I need to add a little of this, and I'll do a little more of this. That's what I want out of all of you, and that's what any other practitioner would want. Think on your own. Take this. Write it. You always have us here to help you. You can remember a phone call away, a Skype away. You know, we're right here with you. And this is beautiful stuff. Now, this person probably opened up this saved this person probably some bowel cancer, tumors. This is the stuff tumors are made of too. You know, this is a big piece of the pie here. And you can see this stuff coming out. And when you do, it gives you excitement like, hey, I'm going to go deeper. What else is in there? Yeah, baby, because that was my thrill. What else can I get out? My God, I must be full of all kinds of bad stuff. And we are. We are. I have attached a photo of some of what showed up on the GI Broom. There was about 5 to 6 times more of this. Holy crap! Look at this again, guys. Gwen. 5 gold stars, dear one. 5 gold stars. This is what I'm talking about. You know, that's why detox is the golden key. It's a key that nature uses. It's a key that everyone should use to restore. Because at the end process of detoxification and the methodology you have to use to go through that yields you tissue regeneration. Yeah, and that is what it's about. Getting the body to digest again, getting the body to absorb again, which is just what Gwen's going to start doing better. Absorption. Matter of fact, I was talking to Hildy here, and she's now gaining weight on the same diet that took it off. And that's what I'm telling you guys that are very thin. Remember this. Hang in there. Go for the detox. Get yourself focused. Go with what you know. Because in time, as you get absorption back, you'll start, oh, my butt's filling back out. On the same diet that took it off, now I'm putting it back on. You'll start to think some of these concepts we have, like calories and things, wait a minute. I'm putting on weight with the same calories that was taking it off. I'm putting on weight with the same diet that I lost it on. What's happening? You're getting better digestion, absorption, and utilization. Because you've increased and fixed proper elimination. That's simple. That's simple. Still an art, and it's still a hell of a job. But it's that simple. We don't have to waste years in academics and going down chasing butterflies and rainbows and ending up hurting a lot of people when it's a very simple focus. It's a focus that nature uses. It's a focus already set up here. Man needs to get that right now on this planet. Or it'd be like the Hopi elders and the Sioux elders. Good luck and ride to ride, basically. Hi, Dr. Morse. I just discovered you, and I cannot believe how much I have learned. Oh, thanks, man. I tell you, I love these comments, and this is Emily. Thanks, Emily, because I like Emily. I like that word, too. You know, but thanks so much for that. I just, you know, if we can all learn together, and some of you are going to discover things that I haven't yet, that's going to be really cool. Because now we're going to take and expand and make a big science out of this to where it has to change the scope of man's awareness. And that's cool, because then this level can get on with some things. I just have a question. What causes peri-orbital darkening around the eyes? Kidneys. Also bags, by the way. Kidneys. Kidneys. And when you see that, and yeah, I'm telling you, I'm glad you brought that up, because when you see that darkness, and guess when you see a lot of it, look at your children. Look at your children for that darkness, that insetness, or a little puffiness. All kidneys. Get used to that kidney look of someone, and you'll see, oh my God, and Down syndrome children have a lot of that kidney look. Of course they would. So you're going to see that look, and in the children, you're seeing it everywhere you look. And you begin to read the human body. The more you work with people, and you analyze what they're going with their bodies and how they look, you'll see that everywhere you turn. And then you know that what we speak here is truth. And then as you take that individual or yourself down that road to Wellville, you'll get there. And you'll save so much suffering in these people's lives. And these children are facing severe fibromyalgias and Lyme's and cancers and neurological problems. I mean, it's a mess. And it's only you guys that know the secrets of pulling them out there. All these other naturopaths and things are floundering. It began when I was 6 or 7. Just saying. When my grandmother said to my mom that it looks like I had yellow eyeliner drawn around my eyes. I remember I would have a runny nose when I was younger and was in the children's hospital. Oh, and finally I ended up getting demazin. What is that? This was in the 1980s. I don't even know what that is. Years went by. When I got into my 20s, it became yellow ring on the skin around my eyes, and now in my 30s, it's brown like I have applied eyeshadow. I have not. I am of Georgian, Armenian, and Persian background. Oh, yeah. You got to be one beautiful woman then. Huh. Wow. Well, you know, you could have some pituitary skin pigmentation changes as well. I would definitely hit off on my kidneys, no questions asked. I'd clean up my gut. I would definitely make sure my pituitary, look at all the female sides, all the things related to your height and all that related to that, get my glands up so I know my skin pigmentation change, get my liver cleaned out, get everything cleaned out there as well. And, you know, just get the body cleaned up and back into a state of wellness and watch this disappear on you, honey. It's what I would do, Emily. Wow, you got a great descent there. Whew. She needs a white horse. And I've got to go. Thank you, honey. Thank you. I was at our class. Yeah. Good morning, beautiful people. Thank you, honey. Oh, wow. She's got a sinner here. She's doing really well here. I am passing by just to wish you all a wonderful 2014 and always to come. I also would like to say once more how much I appreciate all of you and how much I love. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, sweetheart. And please send a warm hug to Dr. Morris. Well, here's a hug back to you, honey. You're a good hugger. I know that. I remember you a lot. And I love you guys, and I love you too, honey. I completed 45 days of mostly fruits and herbs and noticed great results. My breasts that was very hard, now not from beauty but from cysts, have softened up and no longer hurts. Yeah, baby. That's what. You guys are so beautiful. You're doing such a good job. And that's what you want to do, ladies. Don't live with fibrocystic breasts, hard breasts, sore breasts, because nothing ever good comes of that. And it's just not good. You want to fix this stuff up early. Good job, sweetheart. My nails became harder. Some pain I had prior to my period had diminished as well. I took a break for the holidays and we'll restart back next week with the herbs. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you, dear. Love all of you guys. And thank you so much for spending your time and your precious time listening to this. And, I've got so much to go over, so much. I could just do this all the time. Might end up doing a lot more of this as we go along, but I don't want to bore you guys or, put out videos where you guys don't learn anything from that. So anyway, I love you all. You have fun today. I'll get back in the string of things here and probably Friday. I would like to go over these eyes sometime. I know that one guy is just chomping at the bit, and he sent his whole family's eyes in. I think it's like, you know what? When we do something free here, we're doing our best to get it to you as soon as possible. It's just one of those things. I'd rather prefer you guys learn how to read your own eyes. That's why we do these, I'm not doing them just to give you information. I'm doing to help train you to read eyes, because that's a real key component to helping, because it'll show you how much you're involved with your clients or how much your clients is involved, how bad their lymph system is, so you can sit down with them and give them some factual information, and you can be honest with them. So you're like that one lady, yeah, you got great genes, but your lymph system is a mess. You got some work ahead of you. And that's what we have to tell people, is that you got some work ahead of you. But you should enjoy that work, because it brings happiness, it brings enlightenment. And it's like Patricia, it brings a less pain. And where she was going was in a good place, and now she's going in another direction to Wellville. And, it's just, that's what's beautiful. That's what's fun and exciting. And I love it, each and every one of you guys, and have fun. Have fun with your spirituality, too, because hug yourself, give yourself a good day, okay? Bye-bye.